are sitting at the ranking table, brought to you by For the Sake of Heaviness. We've got our panel pulled chairs up to the table once again. So I'm going to go around the table and introduce everybody. First of all, one half of For the Sake of Heaviness, my partner, and those lead pipes of Argus, Mr. Butch Balich.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Going around the table, we've got our good friend, Mr. John Gallo, or June Blizzaro.
Mr. John Gallo.
Oh, much cooler than that metal show. This whole thing.
All right. And we've got the mastermind, the creator of Alpha Destroyer and Sleepless, Eric Sexton-Dorsett is back with us at the table.
What up?
What up? And, of course, one half of the Into the Void podcast, as well as sitting behind the kit of Pale Divine and Mythosphere. Darin McCloskey is back with us. Darin.
Yeah.
All right. As everybody knows, on the ranking table, we pick a random year and we rank 5 random albums from that year. And we're going
And
back.
then we rank your mama.
Rank
Exactly.
everybody's mom. We're going back 45 years, 1981.
Jesus Christ.
And here's our 5 albums. I know. I couldn't believe that. It was like 45 years.
Even better.
All right. We've
Earlier
got
the
It's
better.
dumb.
I was
Hanoi
10.
Rocks, Bangkok Shocks, Saigon Shakes, Hanoi Rocks. We've got the Michael Schenker group with MSG. We've got Saracen with Heroes, Saints, and Fools, Demon, Night of the Demon, and Tygers of Tang, Spellbound. So, as always, we go around and we'll give our 5 and 4, then our 3 and 2, and we'll all end up with our number 1. So I'm just gonna go as I see them. The table's a little mixed up from last time. So Butch, you get to go first today.
This was we were just talking about this before we came on, and this was really hard this month, and I did not expect it to be because at least one of these records I was not. A couple of them I wasn't like too acquainted with. Some of them I've known for years, but man, just records ended up in places I didn't think that they would. So number 5, and this is a surprise to me, but I listened to it enough times that I still think, first of all these records are great. I guess I should just say that I think they're all killer. So this isn't like for me, it's not even a matter of I don't like any of these at all. But number 5 for me is Demon's Night of the Demon. And I mean, again, I think it's a great album. The right from the intro, like it's got a couple different things going on. It's probably I feel like I don't know their catalog as well as some other people might. I have a handful of their records. So I feel like this is like the heaviest, most metallic record they did. I love the title track. The intro, I like the intro too. When the voice kicks in, it loses me just a little, like the seriousness of it.
Well, it's at the same time as Venom being evil, and then people would probably pick up this thinking like, "Oh, this is probably like Venom, right?"
Yeah, I mean, well, the album, the
But
album cover is like got the cross and the guts and the
it's like
this and the
gore
that.
metal,
So
almost, yeah.
but that over exaggeration of the Lucifer,
Like almost like just
I'm
final
gonna do that
tap.
on the record for sure.
yeah. But that title track is amazing. That's one of my favorite songs of the. It's probably one of my favorite. If I'd made a book of my 500 favorite metal songs, that would be in there somewhere for sure.
I'm just a fun.
My 5,000 favorite, semi-favorite songs. It would be in there.
That's right. If I named my 2,000 favorite songs, it would
Lost
definitely
in
make
the mire.
that list. I like the mix of the record, like as it goes from like there's a few, 2 or 3 like more metal kind of things, and there's some like AOR, and there's some prog mixed in there. So, really great record. And I think everyone should.
To come. They definitely went a little more on the prog side after that. Christelle.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple of records. I know
That's the one with the white cover with the guy with the stopwatch.
That's the Plague. Yeah.
The Plague.
Yeah.
I got to get the Unexpected Guest too. That's the blue cover, right?
That's really good.
That's really good. Yeah, I like that one a lot.
And I think I had British Standard approved here somewhere too. But yeah, these guys definitely took on more of like a prog vibe later on. But man, like I said, I like this record a lot. I love the playing on it. The vocals are great. The songwriting on here is good, even when the songs aren't heavy. Like the writing is solid. So that's number 5 for me. Number 4 for me. This record was pretty much new to me because I've only been looking into this band's catalog like over the last, I don't know, the last couple years. I've been getting more into Hanoi Rocks and Michael Monroe. And for whatever reason, I'd never heard Bangkok, Shock, Saigon Shakes, Hanoi Rocks. And I'm glad that Eric suggested this record because this might be of the ones, I have Back to Mystery City, Two Steps from the Move. And I suck on titles, man. Oh, I definitely have Oriental Beat and Self-Destruction Blues. So I think I like this one the best, honestly. Man, there's some real tragedies, Killer. Just some of the songwriting on here is like it again. Anytime I listen to a record by these guys, I'm just amazed at how they never broke big. Like I remember thinking, like I said this to my missus when we went to see Michael Monroe and he was playing, it was like song after song. I was like, I can't believe this song wasn't a hit kind of thing. It's like he played like an hour and a half worth of hits that weren't hits. And it was like, that's what I feel like with these records, man. It's like the songs are there. His voice is cool. He's got like just that cool, like, more baritone kind of vibe that he has to his voice instead of like what the LA singers were kind of picking up on.
Well, not till later, because like Guns N' Roses obviously took a big influence from them, right? And
well, yeah, but I'm just talking about like in general, like their music. A lot of bands were influenced by them, but his voice I think is different from
it is
a lot of like what's going on and what ended up going on in hair metal.
It's more finished. It's got a little bit of like a mystical aspect to it, even though it's like rock and roll or Johnny Thunders or whatever you call it, or that post punk too a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on Finnish music per se, although I'm willing to learn.
I feel like just anything. It's like any of the metal bands, like Reverend Bizarre, or you got Amorphous, or all these different bands at certain times. They have a certain character to their voice that just seems to be unique to the country that stands out, and it has like a cool vibe to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's just like one of the coolest as far as vocalist and frontman goes, and just the dude plays sax too, and uses it in a cool way. So I really like this record. Like every song on here, I think is cool. I especially like Tragedy a lot. Lost in the City is great. 11th Street Kids. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm glad this is one I have to pick up as soon as I can. I actually should check my favorite local record shop, The Attic, down in Millvale here, and see if they have a copy of it.
I've been there right upstairs, right? Is that the one upstairs? Or is that a different place?
I think you're thinking of Jerry's.
Where I got Spooky Tooth. You broke my heart, but I broke your jaw, or something, right?
You're probably thinking of Jerry's. Yeah, it sounds like Jerry's.
Yeah.
But so number 5 for me is Demon, Night of the Demon, and number 4 is Hanoi Rocks, Bangkok Shakes, Bangkok Rocks, Bangkok Shocks. It's right in front of me. Saigon Shakes, Hanoi Rocks. I'm 55. Cut a brother a break.
Yeah. You young kids with your crazy hair and your loud rock music.
Just real quick, at one time, this list had that album at number 1. My list had it at the top. And then as I re-listened to them, I'm like, well, if I had to pick one, if I put these in head to head and I was forced, like you can only take one of these two, so that, it worked its way. And again, it's probably because I've just haven't had enough. It hasn't sat with me as long as some of these others have. So
was Razzle in this album, or the guy that?
Yeah.
So this,
not.
so,
Oh yeah,
so
he
they-
wasn't in the band yet.
So they were touring in the mid '80s with Motley Crue, or they were visiting Motley Crue when
Early.
that happened.
It's like 84.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Talking about when he died, the
Yeah.
accident. Yeah.
Were they touring in America at the time or something, or is that why Anti-Rock was there, or were they visiting, or do you know the story behind it, or
I think they were just partying. I don't know that they were
just
playing together. Could have
yeah?
been.
I mean, they
I think
were
they
in
were just
the
getting ready for the
Party.
release of their album.
oh, they saw they were in the States or something, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
wow.
They was getting ready for the release of the record, and they got
Two Steps from the Move was
completely
coming
No, I
out right
fucking
around there, right?
disrailed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Hadn't
think what
come out
happened
yet.
was they were on tour and Michael Monroe fractured his ankle, so they skipped some shows, and during that
Oh.
break, Razzle was hanging out. I guess Vince Neil. It says here that Vince Neil invited the band to visit his home.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And then when you get like a beer run or something, and then went speeding.
yeah,
in
they
the
went for
Yeah,
more
I think that's the
alcohol,
story.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's terrible, terrible, awful story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I figured
All
we'd
right.
have to bring it up at some point, but yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Way to bring it
yeah,
right
it's
down,
part
John.
of it.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Gallo, you are next.
All right, I guess I'm next up. Okay, so the fifth pick for me is actually Hanoi Rocks. I don't know. It's interesting because it isn't like the typical. I don't really know much of this music that much. Like I was into the Misfits and Black Flag and some punk stuff back in the day, but obviously this is a little bit more like New York Dolls, 70s glam, but kind of like going into the 80s. So they were kind of. It's almost like the way Sirith Ungol were forging a path with kind of a retro style. It's almost like this band was doing it for that, and they actually were kind of progenitors for probably the glam to come in the 80s, right? Like that's what I
Yeah.
get from this band. And yeah, the first song is really cool. And in fact, that first riff sounds way ahead of its time. You know that band The Hives, or that early 2000s revival of this style kind of like rock
Young
music?
stuff.
Didn't they it sounds like they literally copied that riff. Like the Hives are also from Finland, right? And I think either them or Queens of the Stone Age, someone had that riff in something.
I think the Hives are Swedish, but
I think they're Finnish. I'm pretty sure. You might want to double check that. No internet.
I'm not sure.
But anyways, so yeah, I actually was thinking about putting this higher too. It was a battle between another album, and I won't get to that yet. But yeah, I like this a lot actually. Like Stop Crying, and it reminded me of like an Alice Cooper kind of like catchy song. Don't Never Leave Me. Now that's the one where he does like a pitch shift voice in the middle of it. Did you notice that part?
Yep.
I kept thinking of Black Bart by Iron Maiden on the Infinite Dreams like single. Or remember like they did like, are you guys in a band? Like it kind of reminded me of that, the way he raised his voice there, like for the dynamic of the song. Yeah, Lost
Yeah.
in the City. Cheyenne, is that how you say the other one? Cheyenne.
Cheyenne.
Yeah, that's a cool song. Yeah. I really did I like the album. I'm not, just because it's like in the lowest on the list doesn't mean it's not good or anything. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I just couldn't get it higher than the other albums. But I definitely enjoyed it because I never listened to it before. I've always heard about the album, and I like the production from that era because it's early, and everything's very organic, and the drum beats are very rhythmic and ahead of their time too. It's not like any of the other bands that we're listening to on this list. So yeah, I don't know. That's all I have to add about that album. I know the names of the guitarists are Andy McCoy and Nasty Suicide.
Yeah.
They're all still alive too. They're all like healthy. They're not like druggies or anything like Johnny Thunder.
I'm not sure about Andy McCoy.
Okay, maybe I don't know, but I know
David Coy's still alive. Sammy Yaffa, he's still around.
He's doing
Okay.
great.
Mike Monroe, of course, and Nasty
spent some time in
Suicide.
Jet Boy.
Jet Boy,
Yeah.
the band.
Semi Yaffa was in Jet Boy, yeah.
Oh, okay.
At
I've
one
heard of
point,
them.
yeah.
I don't know their music either, but
He was hired into Jet Boy. Like
okay.
that was like probably the weakest thing he did. I mean, just for the sense
Yeah.
that it
Sammy
didn't really
Yaffa,
fit his style.
Was it
Sammy
more
Yaffa
for?
was in Dolls too. He was in that Reformed Dolls thing
Yeah.
that came out in like
Oh.
2010, I think.
Oh
He
yeah.
was,
with the lipstick on the cover or something, or I mean, I guess the logo always has that.
They all
But
have lipstick on the
yeah,
cover.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's like black and white with the pink highlighted. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something like
yeah, black,
yeah,
white, and pink. Yeah.
yeah, maybe they're all like that too. But let's see. So I guess I'll just go to my number 4, which is how you say it, Saracen?
Their son, yeah.
Yep,
Saracen,
Saracen.
yeah.
Heroes, Saints, and
Battle of the
Fools. Not
Saracen.
I was gonna say Heroes, Saints, and Paupers, but I got that right, Fools. So, anyways, this album was the most weirdest and unique on this whole ranking table this time. It's definitely weird. I can know now. I know why a lot of people, because I was in Blizzaro, and people would say like, "Oh, you gotta check out Saracen, this album," because it's like very synth oriented, and a lot of the intros remind me of like a soundtrack. Um, so the keyboard player, Richard Lowe, do you know anything about him? Like the guy who did the keyboards? Is this like a really weird band that no one knows about, really, or? Do you
I
know
mean,
have
they're
anything?
one of
no
those like
details
diamond in the
on-
rough, you know,
Yeah, it sounds like something that
new wave of British heavy metal
I
bands.
I'd almost call this like a hipster pick because it's almost something like someone way later, like the younger, would find and be like, "This is awesome, the best band ever," or something kind of like obscure that would just come out of nowhere.
I think
But
they actually did do that.
the what?
I think they actually did do that. I think Saracen was like excavated as like by the younger generation as this hip, cool '80s band that.
Yeah, almost like how
I
I
mean,
was getting into Pagan Altar in my era. Like I'm a little younger.
well,
Like that came up out of like the mid 2000s, yeah, or something.
every once in a while they'll like pick stuff that we during the '80s that we would have overlooked or discarded as not being very good. You'll see
Yeah,
some of these titles
but this
pop
is
up.
good. This
Oh,
is
this
Yeah.
is a
good. Yeah.
classic. I'm like, no, it's not. It was horrible then, and it's still horrible. However,
Bam.
I won't say that about Saracen, just to make that distinction. Saracen
Let
is
me.
not horrible.
Well, it's very theatrical, and
Very.
that's Crusader is a cool song. Rock of Ages, which is the title before Def Leppard came up with their Rock of Ages, right? So they were ahead of that curve. And I love some of the synth sounds, especially where's okay. Wait, No More Lonely Nights reminds me a little bit of Styx. I like the intro on that, but actually, Horseman Apocalypse is crazy. The intro is like Italian band
Yeah.
Black Hole. I wrote down that's like Black Hole. The awesome intro. Yeah, that's probably why the reason why people would have recommended this album to me. But Heroes, Saints, and Fools. The title track is awesome. I like the organs on it, and the outro, the synth ending with the interplay with the guitars is awesome. Actually, I like Dolphin Ride. That song was pretty damn cool. That instrumental with the square
Yeah.
wave
Mhm.
synth lead, and then it's like listening to what I imagine like a '70s sci-fi novel come to life in my brain and my ears, and like then Ready to Fly kicks in. It's like the awesome intro to that, and yeah, I like that. I did like the album a lot, and I was almost gonna put this a little higher too, but I put it higher than Hanoi Rocks because I don't know, because I just felt like it just fit my vibe a little bit more in my way.
I'm telling Michael Monroe about this.
I know. I don't know,
Yeah.
Michael Monroe. I'm sorry. I don't. At least I didn't. I didn't hurt anybody in your band, so I don't feel too bad.
Oh shit!
You and I had a lot of the same observations, John. I'm looking forward to getting my spin on that one too. So,
All right, cool.
right, Eric, what you got for 5 and 4?
Oh me. Clearing my freaking throat. Number 5. So yeah, just saying the same thing you guys have all said. This was a crazy ass month, man. Especially because we talked earlier, like we had a month to listen to these. So
Yeah.
it's it just keeps changing, like where things fall. But I knew the music except for Saracen, and but anyway, like for me, what I do is when I'm at the gym, it has to pass like the gym litmus test. So when I play it at the gym, like if I feel like I have to turn it off or I'm not going to be able to finish a workout, then I got to get to it later. Like it's dropping down some notches.
Yeah.
So the only one that that didn't get me freaking going was the Saracen record, and I think you nailed it with the what do you call it, the hipster pick? Like
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely been this. There's been multiple periods of time where there's the generation. People are like hunting for the diamond in the rough and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And it's, I mean, all I'd say is like that it's a cool record. The first thing that struck me was the first vocal notes at the beginning was very Rob Halford and like
Oh yeah.
had a touch of his attitude, but then I was like, okay, it's gonna get there, and then it just never got there.
It's like
And
almost there, but it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, almost exactly. I was like, my takeaway was like early Judas Priest B-sides.
Yeah.
With synth proggy synth stuff.
And they never had those. And they never had those B-sides in the '70s. So there we go. We'll take it.
Exactly. I mean, but I was thinking like B-side of the B-side. Really. I mean, like if it really was a Judas Priest B-side, it was probably
C-side.
Exactly. C-side. Exactly.
The Saracen side. I don't know.
The C-side. Saracen sells seashells down by the seaside. That's all I have to say about that.
Before you switch over, the band Ark, War of the Ring, have you heard that song, any of you guys? That single, that new wave of British heavy metal?
Sounds like a hipster pick to me.
It is a hipster pick. It's before it's so hipster, it's beyond hipster. But Ark, A-R-C, they came out, it's like a single from New Wave British Heavy Metal, came out like 1980, 81. That's similar, but he's very Rob Halfordy, and I think you would dig that song. The second side is like Ice Cream Blues. I might have told you guys about it before. Don't ask me why they have a song called Ice Cream Blues on one side, and then War of the Ring, which is influenced by Tolkien, on the other side. And it's epic.
Might put that in our notes later, because you guys always throw something out that afterwards that I need to go listen to.
I'll post.
You come up with some good shit afterwards. So I think, I think I had on there. I mean, I listened to that album several times over the last month, and I thought, maybe in the feeling of the hipster thing, it will rise. To the. It just didn't for me. It's still cool. I mean, I support the arts, and I think that they were at the time had to have been doing something pretty cool. And if you're really looking at like whatever the British metal era or whatever this, they were doing something cool. It was really, really relevant. It might have been somewhat relevant at the time, but I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me these days. Number 4 was the hardest one for me over and over. This is weird because we get into this thing. Like I ranked Nasty Savage low last time, and I've subsequently had 2 like verbal battles with friends of mine about the whole Nasty Savage thing. And I'm like,
yes,
and I know it's a tough one, like, same as Man of War, whatever. So I had to put Tygers of Pantang as number 4. And I just want to be clear, they almost went to number 2.
Gym music. That is totally gym music. That power.
There, 100%. I mean, right out of the gate is like, boom, you got kind of Motorheady type drums and the Gangland. I mean, like boom, I'm like, okay, oh shit. And I went back to it today. And I was like, oh man, that Tygers of Pantang, it's going to be, I'm going to have that at 5. And then I put it on again. And I went, what was I thinking? There's no way. This has to be like number 2. Maybe it's a surprise number 1. And then end up going to 4 for other reasons as we go that hopefully shall be revealed. But like, I'm surprised when you're talking about bands who didn't get bigger like that. Maybe it's because their name is, Tygers of Pantang. I have a general rule. I don't typically, if any of you guys have them, I'm sorry. I don't typically like bands that have more than 2 words in their name because it just reminds me of like my daughter's generation of,
as I like dying by the curb or something, or
all of them, all of them, all of the
horizons,
bring me the horizon, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when those started happening, I was like, Black Veil Brides. She put about that thing. I was like, what is this? I mean, they look like Motley Crue. They looked good, but they suck. But
I think they are arpeggios, if I'm not mistaken.
They could play. Like they could play. You know what I mean? They're probably like those Berkeley graduates or something, and then they just they either do that or they join a Christian rock band to pay the bills. I was surprised you weren't a bigger band. I guess maybe just the name, maybe timing. Who knows? But it's clear like the influence on Metallica or whoever, you name it, all of us. It's clear the influence those guys had, and they're super strong across the board.
Production. I mean, it's
everything. I mean, it's really great. And tomorrow it's one of those ones. Tomorrow it might switch for me as
Sure.
far as the ranking goes. But for today, this is where I got to stand my ground. So yeah, there's the gavel.
They did do a cover of Love Potion #9. Maybe they thought they were gonna get big with that cover.
There's the fucking problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. That was the problem.
When you guys hear my cover of God of Thunder with Alpha Destroyer, that's going to be you might love it, you might fucking hate it, but whenever someone does a cover, it's dangerous ground. But I feel somewhat confident in this because I modeled it after the Paul Stanley's demo version. So when you hear it, you're gonna be like, "Where'd this come from?" It's from Paul's demo. It's Paul's Revenge. Awesome. So yeah, it's not the Bob Ezrin version. So you might be like, "What the fuck is this pop weird shit?" If they listen to Paul's, you'll know what I'm talking about.
The Alpha Destroyer goes disco.
When I posited the song to Martin when we were in Sweden, I was like, "You want to do this song?" He goes, "You mean the disco version?" And I was like, "Exactly." So anyway,
yes,
I'll secretly send it to you guys because it's done. But anyway, all right. So that's that. Yeah, who's next?
That would be Darin.
Darin.
Oh, okay. So number 5 for me, and this is really hard. This is the hardest ranking we've only had. This is only our third one, but I had a lot. I had all of these at number 1 at one point. But I think I'm putting Hanoi Rocks at number 5 because it's the odd man out. Everything else kind of relates to one another. It's either like new wave or British heavy metal, or it's a British sounding band, and it's the same kind of, it's more in the same genre. Hanoi Rocks stand out, and it really isn't, my ranking really isn't, has nothing to do with quality as much as what I would like to listen to now. Kind of the same thing as before. It's like the order that I would listen to them right now. And man, I used to love, and I still do, but I was really into Hanoi Rocks in and around the time that Two Steps from the Move came out. I still like that album. It's really good. And the way I got into them was I saw Michael Monroe was on the cover of Kerrang, and I religiously bought Kerrang anytime I saw it. They sold it at the record store in the mall, and it seemed like every time I don't know if they published it bi-monthly or what, but every time I went to the record store, it seemed like there was a new issue of Kerrang, and I bought it, and it was like the Bible, bands that I hadn't heard of, some bands that I had, but Kerrang is what introduced me to Hanoi Rocks, and at the time I was listening to just some of the glam stuff. I was in the Motley Crue. I think that was around Shout at the Devil and some Rad and Great White, and just kind of starting to get into that stuff. So Hanoi Rocks kind of looked like that. So I thought, well, it's probably a pretty safe bet that it's in that same wheelhouse. So I went out and I got Two Steps from the Move, and I really liked it. It was actually I preferred it over the LA glam stuff because to me it reminded me more of like the Stones, Alice Cooper. It seemed like it had a lot more integrity. The lyrics were a little bit more, they weren't as superficial as the stuff that was coming out of LA at the time. It was a little more of an emotional, somewhat cerebral. But I really got into them, and there's a lot of variety in their music too. They had some party songs, they had some melancholy songs. It just seemed like Hanoi Rocks was a band that deserved a lot more recognition than I think they got in the States, and I'm not sure why. John, I think you mentioned
maybe later down the line.
Huh?
Like when I
you said something about because they were Finnish or something. I don't know.
I don't know what I thought. I think that like later on there was a Finnish band, which I believe are Finnish, the Hives or something, and they had a riff
Swedish.
that sounded. They are Swedish.
They are.
No way! Come on, really?
They are.
Okay, well,
I mean,
so,
it just spit across the water. I mean,
it's over there. It's right over there.
So it's a party boat that goes from one to the other.
But maybe it was because they're maybe it's because they were from an unfortunate location. There wasn't a big Finnish metal scene or anything, and I don't know. But
if that album would have come out, it would have been very different.
What was that?
I said the album would have come out. If Two Steps from the Move would have come out when if they would have still been together, if they hadn't broken up. I think that would have been the difference there.
Yeah. But anyway, it was hard to put that at number 5 because then I preparing for the ranking, I have a box set, a Hanoi Rocks box set, and it has the live album, All Those Wasted Years. Man, that's so good. But having said that, some of the songs that are on that from this album sound so much better live, like Tragedy, for instance. Man, that just rips in the live version on All Those Wasted Years. The production kind of brings us down a little bit. I think every album beyond this was dialed in a little bit better production wise. This is kind of like it's a little stark, in my opinion.
Me
Good
too.
songs. And of course, someone mentioned, probably you again, John, they influenced Guns N' Roses, and
Yeah,
I
at
won't
least
hold
what.
that against them. I won't hold
Well,
that against them.
well,
But
because yeah, I
they
think
definitely did.
yeah.
No, I mean, what was it? Izzy Stradlin even looked like
Oh, like yeah, the guitar player.
uh
Yeah.
what's his name?
It's Lewis.
Andy McCoy.
Oh, that guy.
Andy
Yeah.
McCoy. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Andy McCoy. Yeah. So so Hanoi Rocks, number 5. Number 4 is going to be Saracen, and it's kind of hard to put them at number 4. I really like this album. I really like it. It is proggy, but it's proggy in kind of a 80s Kansas Sticks kind of way. It's not proggy like early Yes or Genesis. I mean, there's a
Oh,
little bit of that in keyboards, but it's like
Palace.
heavy prog, but they got a lot of really interesting things going on in this record. Great vocals, man. The dude sounds like to me startlingly like Steve Walsh from Kansas. I don't know. Does anybody else notice that? No,
Maybe that's what I
Yeah,
was
there
thinking.
is
I,
that. Yeah.
I did. I thought, wow, this dude sounds exactly like Steve Walsh. So there's a bit of Kansas in there, some Sticks, and I love that stuff. So
Yeah,
um,
Sticks. I was thinking, but yeah.
this was another band that I saw in the pages of Kerrang, and I tracked anything that was in Kerrang, man. I had to like
Wow.
track it down. Yeah, and so
Sure.
I found this at the record store too. Um, it's good stuff, but in comparison to the other things on this in this ranking, whatever, yeah, it had to fall at number 4 for me. So
All right.
5 at
Good
Hanoi
stuff.
Rocks and 4 at Saracen.
Fair enough. All
Yeah.
right, my number 5. I'm just it's sad at number 5, and at first I think it was either all of you or maybe Darin. I remember saying, "Man, I don't know if I've listened to Hanoi Rocks in the last 25 years. It's been so long." And to be real honest, I may or may not have seen Hanoi Rocks in like the pages of Circus at the time, but until the car accident with Vince Neil, they really weren't on my radar. So once that name popped up, as tragic as it was, we kind of went down that rabbit hole. Okay, well, who are these guys? If they're hanging out with Motley Crue, they must be pretty cool. And I've had a real hit or miss relationship with the band ever since. Two Steps from the Move is probably my favorite from the catalog, but that's not saying a whole lot. Yeah, Hanoi Rocks is definitely my number 5. It's a real good mix of glam and punk, and I can see where I think they influence more of the sleaze rock scene. Faster Pussycat comes to mind right away
For sure.
when I think of Hanoi Rocks. But I can't help but feel the more that I listen to this album, I think there's a lot of residual new wave in and out of that album too. There's a lot of passages and segues that for me are like, oh, that's straight out of the new wave scene. Not that that's a bad thing, but Stop Crying, that intro to me is like a straight rip off of Pretty Vacant from the Sex Pistols. The way it comes in, it sounds almost identical. So again, I think that's a big punk influence that they had. Don't Ever Leave Me has got like that 50s, 60s kind of swing vibe to it. So it's a real nice variable in the album where everything is kind of rolling right around. Nothing sounds real, stagnant or the same. Lost in the City, real dirty bluesy. And I think they have a little nod to the Stones in that one too. I think they do a little
Yeah, for sure.
intro to Satisfaction in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, which kind of
totally.
plays into the whole album because Pretender, that's like a straight Stone song as far as I'm concerned. But again, speaking to what you were mentioning too, Darren, I think it's a real thin production. Sign of the Times, 81, Finnish band. I don't know what they had at their
Yeah.
disposal, but
Budget.
yeah, exactly. So
There was some clarity though. I mean, I definitely liked the organicness of it, but yeah, I know it
Mhm.
wasn't like it wasn't a thick production. Yeah,
No, it's
maybe.
it's
Had more
Yeah,
bottom,
yeah,
more bottom end. Like it had, I mean, it reminds me of the Stones and Alice Cooper
sure.
and I don't know, the early glam stuff. And man, if it just had a little bit more balls to it, I think it would have been better. I mean,
Yeah, no, I
yeah.
completely agree with you on that.
that's
Maybe if
just nitpick.
Ezra had gotten a hold of them earlier,
That's right.
I
He
think
produced
two
2 Steps,
steps
didn't
from
he?
the move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, forgot about
11th
that.
Street Kids, I think, is probably the best song on that. That chorus is just fucking killer. I can do without Walking with My Angel. That's a Herman's Hermit cover.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's a good album. It's got a little bit of everything. It's just I've never grasped it. It's never clicked with me so much to where I like have to go back and check it out. And I guess that's why I haven't, listened to it in like 25 years. So yeah, Hanoi Rocks is my number 5. And then I'm gonna go with Saracen for my number 4. Kind of like what you were saying, John. These dudes are hugely thematic and cinematic, almost like soundtrack esque.
Yeah, different
Um,
voices for parts and stuff, and
yeah, I mean, this whole album could have been like a soundtrack to like an Excalibur, or like some early '80s
yeah,
fantasy kind of movie. That's what I got. The more and more that I listen to it.
it's like a different version of Hell, like early Hell with Death Squad.
Yeah, yeah,
But and I like that a little bit more, but I'm not sure because they didn't really have a full length album at the time, right? I
right.
don't think. Yeah, but
So yeah, I mean it's really cool. I love the keys in this album, and it adds that real proggy
mhm.
element to it. And for me, I know that this gets lumped in with new wave of British heavy metal. I think that's got to be like on the outer perimeter of that. I don't grasp
Mhm.
that as much, but um, it's definitely got a cool like 70s vibe for an early 80s album.
So this was
You know,
this was 81, so they probably could have been using. Could you see this keyboard?
oh yeah, there you
Yeah,
go,
probably
John.
using that Moog Opus 3 at the
When
time.
when
Yeah,
you say that when you say that it's on the outer perimeter of new wave, what do you mean by that?
like to me, I don't know if it fits under the umbrella of new wave of British heavy metal.
Not a
To
typical
me,
rock and roller.
yeah,
Like a
yeah, it
like a
just doesn't. I don't know.
har-
Because
Like a lot of the
are
other,
you referring to it as like a genre, like new wave or British heavy metal as a genre?
just like the bands that were clumped into that movement.
Oh,
These guys seem to be brought up in that, and I'm not sure I agree with that so
well, like
much.
pagan altars outside of it a little bit too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Does that
yeah.
make
So they
sense,
were
Darren?
in, so they were from Britain and they
Yeah,
were
I mean, that
young
is
when
right,
there
technically
was a
that.
new
Yeah.
wave
right.
of British
But
Yes.
heavy
just because
metal.
The
you're from
sound of it. The
British,
sound. Yeah.
and I know everybody's like, oh, they put an album out. It's that era. They're definitely new wave.
I mean, they are more proggy than they are metal, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of going that
And
route
and
too.
they
a
had
little
the
bit of
lyrics
metal,
kind
yeah.
of go towards
Proggy metal.
maybe they're kind of more metal, their lyrics, although they
Yeah,
kind of they feel a little more Christian to me. So I'm not sure if that kind of softens it. They don't
yeah,
have that
yeah.
hard edge where you're like, there's nothing spooky about the lyrics. They don't feel like Iron Maiden.
Sure. I mean, I just, I don't quite hear it as that as like I do a lot of the other bands that are put underneath that umbrella of new wave of British heavy metal, but to each their own, I suppose. Um, No More Lonely Nights. And you guys, I think he sounds like Lou Graham. That's the first thing
I
that
could
popped up into
see
my
that.
head. And I swear to God, No More Lonely Nights could be on Head Games or Four. It sounds like like Foreigner to me.
Yeah, I kept thinking sticks for that one, but yeah, I know
Yeah,
it's like
that's
something in
that
that
too.
realm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
That's definitely one of the
exactly.
better songs on the record.
Yeah, it is. No, it's good. It's good. But yeah, I think Bettany sounds a lot like Lou Graham. Horseman of the Apocalypse has kind of like that sunglasses at night beginning to it. But then the big riffs kick in after that, so it redeems itself. I think the title track's probably the best. I feel like that's like really cinematic and movie
Yeah.
soundtrack and just glorious and all of that big pomp and circumstance or however you want to put that. Yeah, I like Dolphin Ride too. John, I think you said you liked that.
Yeah,
It's
something
cool.
about it was really
Yeah.
charming. It had a cool sound to it, and
Yeah.
yeah, the interplay. Just like a very, it just kind of drifts you off. You can listen to it while reading a book, or
Yeah.
reading
Yeah.
something.
Exactly. No, overall, it was a cool listen. I like it a little bit more. I connected with it a little bit more than I can say Hanoi Rocks. It's definitely interesting. I'm glad that Butch brought that up because it was cool. I wasn't super familiar with them, so it was cool to go down that route and check them out. So that's number 5 is Snowy Rocks. Number 4 would be Saracen for me. So all right, number
Good
3 and
stuff.
number 2. Back around to you, Butch.
Number 3 for me is the Saracen record. I know I picked this one, but it was one of those ones I kind of picked. Like it's sometimes you pick one you want to see what everyone else kind of thinks about it. And I I've liked the record since I heard it. It was one of those things. It's like different when you hear the time period that it's from, and there's so many different kinds of bands that put stuff out during that time period in Britain, and there's a lot of it that sounds, you can throw the Maiden and Saxon and early Def Leppard and um, bands like that, Blitzkrieg and Satan, all kind of like, there's a lot of that stuff that sounds like that, and then you have like these like bands kind of like part of the scene, but like don't like if like you played like Vardis for me, that's like listen to Status Quo or something like that, just like this boogie rock and
Yeah,
roll thing, or then you get like Praying Mantis, that's more like a AOR
Yep.
kind of thing, like more commercial. Like, and I
I like
find like
them. Yeah,
I like some of these bands that kind of like are on the edges, doing something like a little bit. It's not quite as heavy, but the writing's there. And I guess the thing I really like about the Saracen record and what drew me to it initially was um the keys. And like Darin said, um it it is that like sticks kind of, it's kind of like that pump kind of vibe. Like, and I love shit like Kansas and Sticks and Angel
yeah,
and stuff like that. And that is like Phil, the record is full of that stuff. All it still has great guitar work. I love that. I just love the way they use the keys on here. And I just think it's cool. Like you look at the cover, you would never think that it sounded like
Yeah.
it does. Like you wouldn't. Heads on pikes
mhm.
on the front. You'd think it'd be heavier than it is. Um, and I don't know. It's just got a cool. I agree with what you guys have said. I can hear the Steve Walsh, the Lou Graham. He definitely has that kind of like that melodic, could have been on the radio kind of voice. It pulls like from the 70s, like kind of melodies and stuff. And then like I said, I just like it all the way around. All the songs are cool. For me, my favorite ones are definitely I like Horseman of the Apocalypse a lot. I love No More Lonely Nights. I love how the keyboards kind of like bubble at the beginning. That kind of
Yeah.
Dolphin Ride is really cool. I'll jump on that bandwagon too. It's just
You might as well. You got to jump on
well,
that.
like when you with a title like that, it sounds like what the title is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's got that like kind of like the Manfred Mann's Earth Band had that song Singing the Dolphin Through, and it's like I don't know, it's just like maybe there's a through line with Dolphin songs. Let's throw Lee Ritenour Dolphin Dreams in there too. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I just think it's a cool record. Like there's some heavy moments on it, and then there are those AOR kind of like where they veer towards more like what Magnum was doing than
Hmm.
what Maiden was doing. So I think it splits the difference between
Eloy, but not quite
progressive
Eloy.
and
But
metal, and
yeah.
there's some cool like stuff. Some of the keys remind me of like what Eloy, not as
Yeah.
expansive as
Into the
Eloy. I mean, those guys.
80s. Into the 80s, but kind of different. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, just a really good album. It's definitely bumped up on my want list.
I'm glad I got
Oddly
to
enough,
hear it.
I thought I had it for some
Good.
reason, but I think what I was thinking of was I had a chance to get it in an auction um, during the lockdown days, and I lost it to someone else. So Whoever beat me on that one, I'll get you. I will get you.
Darin.
So yeah, Darin got it. Darin won it. Man, number 2 and number 1 were really hard for me. And so number 2, I went Tygers of Tang, Spellbound. Man, as far as like album starts, like first songs on a record, Gangland is one of my favorites. Holy crap! What a just what a just shot of like adrenaline right from the get go, and really like the album is just like in general. I love just how much it does like just rips like that, and you know, just
almost,
a rocker,
almost the whole thing. Yeah, I mean, it's like
and I mean, you know, Wildcat I thought was okay, but I'm not a big Jess Cox guy. I really like John Devereaux's voice a lot. These guys like seem to have everything that they should have been big. I mean, they had the songs, they had the players. Like John Sykes and Rob Weir are a good tandem here. Devereaux's a great singer. You know, they look cool. They were on a big late. You know, they're on MCA Records. So the fact that Spellbound and Crazy Nights didn't do it for them amazes me. It's
the name of the album cover.
Yeah, maybe I guess.
Even
but a lot of bands have like
that's it.
I like
the name of the band and the album cover.
I mean, the album cover is a little boring. I mean, I like it, you know, but it doesn't look as heavy as that first song comes in, you know.
Not at all.
Yeah, I guess not. Maybe it looks like a guitar record or something like that. I don't know.
Which I like. Yeah.
I always thought
if they used the Saracen cover.
Yeah. That would have fit more. But yeah, I mean, Gangland's killer. Take It's great. Hellbound's cool. I like Mirror a lot. I mean, I like this whole record. It's my favorite Tygers record. Overall, I like Crazy Nights a lot too, though. But man, in terms of like it being a shame that a band didn't make it big, this record I think should have been big. It's in that, you know, it's in that category of like, you know, where I think like where Def Leppard broke, like I think these guys could have appealed to the same crew of people. So I don't. Yeah. So that's number 2 for me. So number 3 is Saracen, Hero, Saints, and Fools, and number 2 is Tygers of Tang, Spellbound,
cool,
and R.I.P. John Sykes.
No shit.
Yeah.
I actually forgot that he passed away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
I saw him once with Thin Lizzy, singing for Thin Lizzy in the early 2000s. Did you go see that tour?
I saw that in Jersey.
Yeah, it was around 2004. It was 2003. I don't know, something like that. I don't think it was 02.
It was early in the 2000s, man. It was like
could have been
2001.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was cool though.
I guess it's a bummer too, John Devereaux. Like, you know, I don't know how long it's been since he's sung, but I guess he became an actor. So
he sang in another band too, like around that time, or another recording. Didn't he sing with another new wave of British heavy metal band right before he joined? Or how long was he in the band for? Did he? I don't know. I remember. I haven't looked it up recently, but I remember he was
in Persian Risk briefly.
Persian Risk, yes.
Yeah,
looks like he spent a minute in Wasted too.
Yeah, it's like 1987. He got credit for being in Wasted. I didn't record anything with him though. I don't know.
Did you guys see that they put out a double live of from '81 of the Spellbound tour? I just came across that today. I hadn't even noticed.
I think I have that on vinyl. It's like the live album for that era.
I think it's fairly new. I'm not real sure. I hadn't seen
I picked that up. I totally forgot I had it, but I don't know if I gave it to Nick or not. But it
sounded
come with
awesome. A CD too, or like maybe a DVD of the show or something.
Maybe a download.
There's a whole lot of extras that came with it. I saw.
Maybe mine was a bootleg. I don't know. It was something that was live around Spellbound.
This was 80. I think it's called 81 Hellbound, but it's from that tour, and I don't remember the place. But I saw it and I was like, oh man, that looks way worth picking up. So I don't know. if anybody had already grabbed that here. But
It's not well from what I heard from the live songs. They sounded good. Yeah, so
that's
I only
cool.
listened to it a couple times, but I think I was like, Nick, you got to hear this. I couldn't remember if I gave it to him or if I got it back. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to go through my records again. My new acquisitions.
All right, John, you're up with number 3 and number 2.
All right, number 3 is gonna go with Night of the Demon. Okay, so that album, it's an awesome album. It's very catchy. I mean, I was actually gonna raise this one higher too, but it kind of reminds me of like Quartz meets Pagan Altar,
Sure.
and then the vocals at some points in some songs remind me of Brian Donnelly from The Sweet a little bit. It was a little bit Noddy Holder and even some John Fogerty. He's got a very grip on his voice. He's got a very unique voice, which seems like they could have been a more popular band. Were they popular at the time?
I don't think they really broke out as
No.
much as
The
we
album-
know them now.
Their hometown, but
The album seems very. It seems like it could have been commercially popular, but obviously the cover almost gives you a different sense of during the. I don't know what people would have thought, but it seemed very. The cover really doesn't match the music as much in a way, even though the theme of the music, yes, like the lyrics. But yeah, I love. Yeah, the Full Moon intro definitely reminds me of something like death metal bands would probably start doing later,
Even
though it's cheesy a little bit, but it was cool. It evoked the right sound. And Night of the Demon's awesome. I like the melody on Into the Nightmare because that's almost like the same thing. It starts with a quartz kind of riff. Like they have that same kind of quartz tone, but maybe in like E tuning instead of lower tuning. And when the chorus kicks in on that song, it's like just as good. I mean, people might think, oh, it's like almost like a ripoff of the Night of the Demon melody, but it's not. It's different and it's uplifting, and you feel good listening to it.
Yeah.
And
I think I wrote that down too. It's got like that positive, uplifting, up-tempo kind of vibe.
Kind of like in the whole album, it was similar to that. And I love Father of Time. I like how that starts off straight up Thin Lizzy. He does a total Phil Lynott intro vocal part. You know what I mean? With that lower register telling a story kind of thing. And the melody on the bridge and the chorus is awesome. Cool, awesome solos in that one. Decisions is the one that really reminds me of The Sweet a lot. Liar is awesome. The riff, the intro riff to like on that one is awesome with the quartz. That's very quartz style. But yeah, I really enjoy Night of the Demon a lot. Like, and I already knew the album because I had it on CD 15 some years ago, and I used to play it in my car. I think we were listening to it one time. We were going up to see Pagan Altar, and it was just such a catchy album. And so yeah, that's my number 3. And now number 2. Yeah, that was a hard one, but because I picked what I picked, I put MSG. I put Michael Schenker second. And so his second album is self-titled, right? So the first album is the Michael Schenker Group. The second one is just Michael Schenker Group, right?
It's MSG, I guess.
Yeah, or MSG. Okay, I get it. So yeah, this album was awesome. I mean, obviously Michael Schenker, you can't go wrong because his solos are awesome. Cozy Powell doing like the intro song right off the bat. He's doing like some sort of halftime double bass thing. What is that, Darin? Is that like a double bass, but it's halftime? It's kind of slow. Do. I don't know. It's like
maybe single bass. Seems like a single bass.
Single bass, but he's just kind of.
he always plays double. Yeah, it's double kick. He
but it's slow. Yeah.
Kick.
Yeah.
Pretty slow for him. Yeah, it's a slow double kick part.
It was cool. It stood out. It was cool.
Reminds me more of like the end of like Looks to Kill, where he just go.
Oh yeah. Attack of the Mad Axeman is awesome. The mellow parts on it remind me of Uriah Heep. Like I couldn't believe the dynamic shift in the song on that.
It's a good call.
Intro was awesome. On and on. The intro caught me by surprise because it was like a soundtrack going into like another world for a second, and then that just kicked in. I don't know what else, but I Want More is pretty cool. Never Trust a Stranger. I almost didn't like that song at first. It was like, kind of like threw me off. But then around like 240 when his solo kicked in and the interplay between Michael Schenker's solo and Cozy Powell, it was like phenomenal. I couldn't believe like how good they play together. Has he always been the drummer in the Michael Schenker Group for like around those albums?
They've had a different drummer
every time.
Simon Phillips was the drummer on the first album.
Oh,
And
okay.
and after this album, Cozy was out, and Ted McKenna was in for the third
Yeah.
album, Assault.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Cozy.
All
Yeah.
good drummers.
Looking for Love was actually has an awesome intro riff, and then that reminded me of freaking Doctor Doctor, like that second riff part, like do 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 do
Yeah.
do. And
Yeah.
and another thing about the singer, don't tell me his name. His name is Gary Barden, right?
Yep.
Yep. So he totally worships Ian Gillan. He might be Gillan band era of singing a little bit, but different. But there's aspects of the way he delivery is. It reminds you of Gillan, not like super high, like super, wailing, but he has like a delivery that reminded me of it. That's what I got. I don't know.
Does it remind you of Phil Mogg at all?
Oh, like UFO. Maybe it's a combination of that a little bit, but. Yeah, I don't know why I kept thinking Gillan, but maybe you're right. Maybe it is a little bit more Mogg because also Michael Schenker, maybe he was thinking that when he was writing it. I don't know. And when he
I
recruited
can
him,
hear some Gillan now that you mention it, but I've never thought of Gary Barden and Ian Gillan.
I don't know why. It was
I mean,
especially
I can hear that now, especially when
looking
he
for love.
does
I
some
don't
of
know.
the falsetto things. Now that you
Yeah.
mention,
Like
I
a
can hear
like a
that.
junior version, like a very I don't know. It just kind of struck me for a second, like Gillan band era or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Gonna have to re-listen to that. And pay attention now.
You're right.
But no, that was a hard pick, but yeah, I could. Yeah, I'm not gonna say no more, so I'm done with my picks there. Yeah.
All right, Eric. 3 and 2 for you.
Oh, yeah, man. It's a tough room. Yeah. Number 3 is Demon. So I mean, Night of the Demon. I mean that, and again, this was again one that jumped from 1, 2, and 3 back and forth. But the Phil Mogg reference. I mean, actually, who sang on this record? Because I thought I had to Google it. I thought it said that.
Dave Hill.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it's Dave Hill. Okay. Cool. Did they change singers?
No,
Nothing I know
he's
of, no.
Oh no,
always
he's
been
the
there.
guy. He's the guy all the way through. I'm getting confused with MSG. Sorry, because they switched. They did. Yeah. Sorry. Dave Hill's vocals. Phil Mogg all the way. I stopped to get coffee today, and I literally had to go pull up a UFO record and A/B them, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like,
Totally.
okay, cool.
Totally.
I can see where where they were going
That song,
for, but
that song Decisions is
Absolutely.
all Phil Mogg, I think. That's
so
big one.
Yeah, so much of it. But also Phil Lynott. So I had that too, like on
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fool to Play the Hard Way. I was like, holy shit, Thin Lizzy, but here's the thing about them. The reason they started dropping to me, they would drop and they even dropped lower than they came back, is just that my feeling with those guys has always been like, I always felt like this kind of hung out in this kind of pedestrian kind of zone, it's not breaking any ground for me or not anything crazy. But when I went back and started, are we still okay? I got an internet connection unstable.
I just saw a little pause. I don't know if that was
you're good.
You're
good.
Okay,
yeah, you're still good.
All right. Do I still look okay?
Awesome.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, so I don't know what I was saying, but now I got lost. But anyway, I mean, once I went back and started listening to it, I'm like, holy shit, this is so good that it could be number 1 because the songs to me are just so good. Like they're
written well. Everything works.
Yeah, they're written well. Yes. Again, the Jim litmus test. If I wasn't paying attention to who it was and they just played the album from beginning to end, I'd listen all the way through and be picking up shit and putting it back down again and going, this is badass. And I wouldn't even care because it's just so good. I feel like the songs are so strong, even though I felt like there was like, again, so the intro is just amazing. I have to rip that off at some point. We all have to do our Motley Crue on.
Do it for the cover. Do it for the Paul Stanley cover or whatever.
I do the Paul Stanley version. It'll be like, Beelzebub. And
come on.
I mean, Martin actually did some killer vocals. I mean, my wife heard it. She's like, fuck, that slaps. Like it's poppy, but like, boom. Like, anyway, it's good. So, Night of the Demon, like straightforward killer rock and roll. This is so good. Father of Time almost put this at number 1 for me. Yeah. Just because that pre-chorus and chorus that you mentioned, I was like, that's so good. It's just like dripping with cool. I just want to play it over and over again, you know. I love that one. Into the Nightmare. My first thoughts were like, you know, when you ever get into a little bit of a proggy thing, like just I started thinking Spinal Tap. So I started thinking like what Spinal Tap does to like lampoon, what they were lampooning.
Yes, you're totally right. No, because I had a note about Spinal Tap. I didn't bring it up. Oh my god.
Funny.
There was something. Oh, which song was it?
Was it on that record?
Oh, please. I think it was. Wait a minute. No, wait a minute. Oh my god. I can't think right now.
For me, it was Into the Nightmare. And I said they were it was what Spinal Tap were lampooning, but in the best possible way.
I know what you mean, but there's
this is really cool.
Song.
Let's fuck with it. You know.
Oh my god. I didn't write that note down. It was lost in the mix. Whatever.
Whereas Saracen reminds me of the keyboard part, you know, like the Spinal Tap. And I'm like, that's what they reminded me of. Sorry.
It could have been that band too. One of them had a song that literally the first verse, I swear to God, I think it was I think not the song, I think it was on Demon's album, that there was a song towards the end, and I can't remember the name of it now, and it sounded like literally Spinal Tap must have listened to this album and they totally copied the verse. And I don't think it was the one you were saying though, but it was, maybe it's the same thing, but there was another song on there that was so literally sounding like Spinal Tap that I don't think it was that one, but maybe, I don't know, whatever.
You have to message and tell us what it is later.
I'll find out later. Yeah,
you'll think
I'm glad you caught that because I was like, man,
I almost forgot. Yeah,
I just felt like, well, I was like, wow, this is what they're lampooning, but it's great, you know. Liar, I mean, I made a note that like who knew you could get that much mileage out of one word. The song crushes, and even though they just pretty much say liar through 90% of it, I'm like, that's sick. I need to write less words.
No. You know what I wrote down for it? I did have a Spinal Tap reference, but for Into the Nightmare, I didn't even tell you guys this. This reminds me of something George Harrison would write for the soundtrack for Time Bandits, and that was my joke. That was
oh my god, Time Bandits!
Like George Harrison had an affiliation, and like somehow there's a melody of that, like the main melody of that song, kind of remind me of George Harrison's melody structure. I don't know, something. But yeah. I'll stop.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, so number 2 was MSG, and you know, I really think that Demon or Tygers of Pantang probably should have, woulda, coulda, should have been number 2. Yeah. But now we're starting to like go into like personal territory for me. Plus,
Michael,
you know, like my singer on the first 2 Sleepless albums, Kevin, like I remember watching his band do On and On at a church. And his voice breaking like Peter Brady all the way through it. And like, you know, when he was like a sophomore in high school and like, so all that stuff kind of, those songs to me were like kind of our battleground at the cafeteria. I'm sure I've mentioned before. It was like, you know, I'm like listening to the heavier shit and they were all listening to that, which was heavy, but it was just different. Anyway, the songs on that too. It's just the songs. Like On and On to me is like always on my playlist. It's on my road trip playlist. It's on my birthday playlist. It's just always there. It's a fucking classic, you know. It's so good. The album is almost like a cheat. Like we've done such a good job of weeding out like Mike not doing Don't Break the Oath, you know, like we didn't do Ozzy. Like MSG is almost as like, well shit, you know. We threw Queen in there. What are we supposed to do? You know, like, you have to vote for Queen. You know, like so it's you know, Ready to Rock. I mean, just right at you again, and just like Demon did, like, you know, or Tygers of Pantang did right out of the gate. You know, like that. You know, the Mad Axe Man. I mean, that's, you know, to me it sounds like early Priest, and you know, just has this. It's just cool. Their influence on other bands just can't be overlooked. The Never Trust a Stranger is fucking whatever Guns N' Roses song that stole that completely. I didn't really listen to anything or to their second albums, but that whatever that song was that they ripped off on that is just 100% Guns N' Roses. So, you know, you just see like when Michael Schenker did his album he did recently, we had different vocalists on, like everyone's chomping at the bit to be on that because everybody was, you know, influenced by him, and you can't argue with his leads. You know, they're just dumb. a fucking.
He is the ultimate harmony. He is the ultimate melody king. You know, just
He just
yeah.
yeah, he's dripping melody. So
I
that's
mean,
it. I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's such a strong record. It just has to be number 2 for the sake of the ranking table. However, don't let that stop people from running out and getting the Tygers of Pantang. You know,
Yeah.
that's it.
All right,
Cool.
Darin, what do you got? 3 and 2.
Good stuff there.
Number 2, I've got Demon, Night of the Demon. I like this record. I like it probably more than the stuff that came. Well, I don't like it as much as The Unexpected Guest. That's probably my favorite Demon record. But everything that came out after The Unexpected Guest, I don't really care for that much. But I think like this was kind of like where they were just getting started, and I think it evolved to the second album where a lot of the things that everybody's talking about kind of came to fruition. Some of the ideas and some of the writing that maybe wasn't quite as successful, cool, but maybe not quite as successful on this album. I think achieved liftoff on the second album. But I like this album. Vocals are great. When you said Phil Mogg, dead on right there. To me, Phil Mogg and Phil Lynott.
Yeah.
Really, the strength of the band, I think, is in the vocals. Music is cool. It's well written. It's catchy, good melodies and everything, but it's the vocals that are like, wow, yeah, this guy's good. And I think that was like Demon's strength is in the vocals.
Kind of like a Rocky Erickson too, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, maybe based on the song titles.
A little bit more guttural than Rocky, though, but kind of a little bit maybe in the raspy.
More control. Yeah.
Pretty much what what I was going to say. Everybody else already said about it. So number 2, Demon, Night of the Demon, good record, comes in at number 2.
That's your 2 or 3, Darin?
My 3. It's my 3. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good.
My number 2, and even though this is my pick, is MSG.
Wow.
Somebody had, yeah.
I almost did that. Or I did do that. What am I talking about? Oh my god.
I love Schenker. I love UFO. UFO is like my top, definitely my top 10 if they're not in my top 5. Love Schenker solo stuff up to a point. He got kind of weird in the 90s. Actually, in the late 80s, I like the Macaulay Schenker stuff now much more than I did when it came out. I was really disappointed by the Macaulay Schenker stuff.
Yeah.
This band, killer band. Chris Glenn from the sensational Alex Harvey band. We got
oh shit! Really?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Gary Barden, who was I'm not sure where Gary Barden came from. He was in a band called State Trooper, but I'm not sure if that was before or after his stint with MSG. Paul Raymond, of course, from UFO. Yeah. Brought Paul Raymond over on keys and
the sensational Alex Harvey band. That was Tear Gas too. Before that, right?
What was that?
Isn't that Tear Gas? It's a backing band for sensational. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Then Alex Harvey picked up the band. It's a good follow up to the first album. The first album, though, I think it beats it out a little bit. But I've always come back to this album because it's really an immediate listen. It just hits you hard. It's like, oh, I want to listen to some MSG. When in doubt, MSG is the album to pull. Are You Ready to Rock? Attack of the Mad Axeman. After the middle part with the falsetto and it comes driving back and that riff and Cozy's drums are really huge. On and On's phenomenal. I love that song. Might be one of my all-time favorite songs. Let Sleeping Dogs Lie is a good way to close the album. But I Want More is probably my second favorite song on here. From there, it kind of winds down a little bit. The rest of it's good, but not as strong as everything that came before. And so if Tygers wasn't in the running, this would probably be my number 1, but Tygers Spellbound, I think, song for song and just for a lot of other reasons. Well, I'm giving it away.
Which
but
you will enumerate in due time.
Someone's got their abacus, they're figuring it all out right now.
Guesswork involved with that. But number two, MSG is my pick, and I thought I was going to go at number one on this, but
Is this the first in our history, or did someone else did change out their pick for the number one before?
yeah.
Have we done this yet?
I think we've all called audibles at one point.
Like where we took our
I've-
favorite from the top and
I
changed it
tried
out?
to,
Yeah.
but I think I've picked my choice each time.
I think I am going as well on that realm.
I'm a total asshole that way. I
Yeah.
try not to. But
I think I'm
Di-
2 months.
Di-
My
Demon was coming up high, but yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know if I don't think I've picked mine as a number one yet because you guys have always gotten something. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty
I
good.
gotta
Well,
pick some crappier records.
yeah,
all right, my number three, which was my pick, is also Demon, Night of the Demon. Pretty much reiterating everything that's already been said. Darin, I think you're correct in saying this was kind of where they were getting their foothold. The Unexpected Guest, I think, is a much more consistent album, but you know, Night of the Demon is just catchy as hell.
break the
And
circle.
Yeah, that song's
I-
awesome.
I love how there's been
Don't
tags put on
break
this album
circle.
over the years where it's like Devil Rock or Satanic AOR and stuff like that. But it's funny because the more I listen to it, and I think maybe I've only realized this on the last couple of years because I love this album. But the first half of the album kind of goes along with like the horror theme or whatever, and the second half is like not even close. It completely
Yeah.
like kind of switches the approach up a little bit, but
It's kind of peter out towards the second half as a second side, I think. Good
yeah,
songs on
One Hell of a Night's a
Live
good
is
closer.
fun.
It kind of ups the metal part of it back up a little bit, but yeah, Father of Time worth the price of admission. And then there's like that little like mid break in there halfway through the song where it kind of slows it down and it's almost like a victim of changes like segue in there that catches me every time. I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. And I think I mentioned earlier when you guys were talking about it in the Phil Mogg comparison, I think on Decisions, that's where it's absolute pinnacle, where it sounds like Phil Mogg. It really jumps out. Liar's good. I think I might have some of the heaviest riffage on the album. Big Love is just an AC/DC song. I don't care what anybody
Right.
says.
Forgot about
That,
that
that's
one. Yeah.
that's total AC/DC. I mean, it's good. It's cool rocker. But
Nothing wrong
again,
with
like that second half is just so different from the first half. Um, Ride the Wind is really good. That's a straightforward rocker. That's got some UFO vibes in there for me. Les Hunt is the lead guitarist on there, and I think that solo on that song alone is really, really good. Um, but yeah, Fools Play the Hard Way, good. One Hell of a Night, really good. Closer for the album. I think the chugging on that one, kind of another Judas Priest reference. I think it reminds me a lot of Delivering the Goods, which is
Delivering
cool.
the good.
One of my
to-
favorites.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. I was trying to remember
Yeah.
what riff that was, what that was. Yeah, it's delivering the goods.
Yeah, big time, which is cool because I love that song. So yeah, it wraps it up really good for me. But yeah, same thing. I had this one high and then I had it low and then I'm like, well, it was my pick. Why did I pick it? Because I love it. Okay, I'm gonna put it higher. But
Yeah.
yeah, I kept
They're
moving
like
stuff around.
they're like the porridge that Goldilocks chose. They just ended
Yeah.
up like in the comfortable spot in the middle.
Exactly. So I'm kind of going the same route as a couple of you guys, but my number two, which was number one, then it was three, and now it's two. So I'm going with MSG also. I mean, I think a lot of people, you hinted at it too, Darin, or a couple of you guys, that I think a lot of people go back to this album as like this was the definitive Michael Schenker group album, at least in like the first 4 or 5 albums before it went Macaulay. Um, it's good. It's got Attack of the Mad Axeman is one of my absolute favorite songs, if not just for the conclusion of that last solo part of that song just rips. You don't get any better than that. And that did some we were talking about the production of this one because I wrote down that it was Ron Nevison and that guy's got one hell of a resume. And then the more I
Yeah.
was reading up on this a little bit, I guess they spent so much money on the production that the
Oh,
band
went
was
bankrupt or something?
they were like, yeah, they were like on the verge of bankruptcy at the very
Mhm.
end of it because they put all the money into the production of this album, which I thought was crazy. But I mean, it sounds great. I mean,
It's
it's
very high
polished.
quality sound.
Yeah,
It's
I
very,
think Cozy
high-
shines. I think the drums alone sound,
Yeah.
that might be the best part of the
Yeah.
album for me
Yeah,
anyway.
he's so solid. Love
Yeah.
it.
But Paul
wish he
Raymond
had
on
that.
keys, shit.
Yeah. I wish Cozy sounded like he does on this album, on the stuff he did with Sabbath.
Sabbath, yeah, I knew you were gonna
Yeah.
say
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, he soaked his drums in like reverb
Oh
and
yeah, the
all kinds of
80s
effects,
sounding.
and
Yeah.
I love the wide open, big room sound of the drums on MSG.
Yeah.
Mm.
Really works
Yeah.
well for his style.
And he's such a good drummer too. It's you want
Oh,
you
yeah.
want a drummer like that to really cut through and shine. So
Yeah, Gates of Babylon.
Producers.
yeah. But yeah, again, speaking of what all of you guys said, Never Trust a Stranger. I think that's the buried gem on the album. I mean, that's just such a standout, and the solo on that too, I think, is absolute signature Schenker. It really stands out. So if you were to, if somebody wanted to know, hey, what should I listen to? I've never heard Michael Schenker before. That might be one of the couple of songs I say, make sure you check this one out. So, but yeah, number 3 was Demon, number 2 MSG, and that was rough coming up to this point. So if you've been paying attention, you probably already know what our number 1s are. But Butch,
Yeah.
you're up.
All right. Big surprise. I mean, this actually started out way lower on my list. I think at one point I had it at like number 4.
Wow.
Okay.
But the more I listened to it, the more I like remembered how much I like this record. It's been a while since I spawned it. And by the way, I mean, that's a great band photo. Like that just looks so cool.
Anybody want to have the reason of why they switched the cover art to the to the V?
No,
in the
I like
front?
that cover. I like this cover art much better. I don't like the like charcoal
With the band
Cover.
photo.
Sketch.
or
Yeah,
the
it looks like
sketch,
a
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
think that.
iconic logo.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
The one
Straight
right
to the
there.
point.
But that
it
was
looks cool.
that was the artwork was changed just for like what the American and Canadian release. I think everything else it was that back photo with like the sketching,
Yeah.
like you said, like charcoal. I just was curious.
Anyone know what year that V is?
Let me take a look at that again.
What was that? What happened?
Oh, the cover of the album.
Yeah.
To see what year the
What
V
year
is
is
on
the
it.
V?
Well, if it's got a stop tail piece or because those came out in the late '60s. The original ones that came in through the back, the holes in the back of the guitar would be the original 1958 style, but I don't know.
Get it, John. Let's go.
V?
What is it?
The
Okay,
flying
cool.
V?
The flying V.
Wait, do I have? I don't have my V up
Doesn't
here.
even have any tuning pegs on it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see. Yeah.
I don't see any strings either.
No.
Oh, that's a weird one then. That's a synthesizer.
Where's the strap?
The guitar.
It's a guitar, yeah.
Guitar, yeah.
Yeah.
It's what's that guy?
Greg Jafria gave it to him.
There you go.
I guess they out Holdsworth, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a great record. I mean, from top to bottom. And one of the things I want to say about Gary Barden is he's like one of the few guys I could think of that is great, but sounds like constantly like he's just about to fall apart.
Yeah.
When he's singing. He has that thing with his voice, like he just always sounds like he's on the verge of like cracking, but doesn't. And I find that it like he's not. If you're gonna like line up all the Schenker singers, and so you get Barden and Graham Bonnet and McCauley and I mean Doogie White. You hear these guys that he's had in the band, and they're all like maybe technically better singers, but for me, like he's still the ultimate MSG singer. And a lot of that's just the material from here.
Do you remember the story about Graham Bonnet on stage?
Yeah, he split his pants, and he put the lyric. First of all, he put the lyrics on the stage because he hadn't learned them. Yeah. This is the story I heard. The lyrics were on the stage, but then he didn't tape them down, so they blew away. So then he's like, as they say in Germany, Max Schau, making a show and splits his pants and ends up behind the amplifiers. He was drunk as hell, I think, from what he says.
Yeah.
At that gig, he lasted like that one show. So it's too bad. Like we never got like.
And his wiener was hanging out.
Yes, split his pants.
Did he do the helicopter?
Yeah, that's what he said. I think that's what we saw when we saw him play solo. Yeah.
I mean, you got
Yeah, I think he did something. Well, maybe he was just making that part up, but
Yeah,
that's
make
what it
it
sounded
work.
like. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
look up
When
any of his live shows. You'll find the story somewhere.
when Schenker first got back with Gary Barden, or John Gaffney and I went to see him someplace in Jersey. It was like Fast Lanes or something. Um, and I was really excited. Wayne Finley was on guitar or rhythm guitar and keys. Carmine Appice was on drums. It was a good band, small venue. Really excited to see them with Gary Barden. And Gary Barden's voice was just pretty much shot. When you
Yeah.
say that he was at
Oh,
that point where
Oh,
he was about like, he's going for it, but he's cracking and squeaking and everything. I think 1981 was probably like the end of Gary Barden's voice. I mean, he was
Ooh.
recognizably the lower register of Gary Barden, but man, he just could not do the high parts. And then fast forward probably about like 8 years later, I saw what you described, Butch, all the singers, the
Yeah.
Michael Schenker Fest, and
yeah.
Doogie, Rob McCauley, Graham Bonnet, and Gary Barden, and each sang like 3 or 4 songs from their era. Yeah, it was really pretty incredible. Um, Gary Gary Barden sounded a little bit better, but man, Rob McCauley, and I never really cared for the Rob McCauley stuff when it came out, but man, what a great singer.
He
Um,
was but it was I'd never seen him sing live before, and I was like, my jaw
wow.
was on the ground. He was
Yeah.
Wow.
unbelievable.
Yeah, yeah. And he's up there too. I mean, he's got to be like well into his mid to late 60s, but man, he sounded fantastic. Um Graham Bonnet kind of, he held his own. Sounds like Graham Bonnet didn't have, an incredible range to begin with, but yeah, I came away and I was like, man, I got to get those Macaulay Schenker albums now.
Yeah,
Even though they're pretty dated and overproduced and stuff, but there's some good songs on it,
I
you know.
still
there are
like those
definitely some
albums
good
quite a
tracks
bit.
on there.
Yeah.
Um,
is Paul Raymond in? Was he touring with Michael Schenker the last time we saw him?
Paul Raymond's
No,
He's
he
been
dead.
passed.
dead.
When did he pass? After that,
20,
Oh,
2016
I was
or
gonna say
2017. Don't
oh,
hold
it
me
was
to this, but
after
I
that
think,
tour they did with Saxon.
yeah,
oh,
I saw them. In fact, oh man, it was
oh,
so awesome because they played
oh,
Love to
yeah.
Love, and
Okay.
we went right up to the front where I was like maybe 6 feet away from Paul Raymond, and he was playing the keys, and oh man, it was so awesome. And I had, of course, no one did any idea that he was going to be gone, within like a year or two
right.
later. So it was a
Wow.
really cool moment.
Yeah, I
Well,
was glad I got to see that.
wait. So the newer keyboardist is from another new wave version. Make any sense or no? Am I wrong?
I'm not sure.
Shanker's new keyboardist.
Yeah, the new he plays guitar too.
Oh, Steve
Hmm.
Mann.
Yeah,
Oh no.
what's it called? What band was Lionheart? Am I
Yeah, I think that
wrong?
was Lionheart. That band with Dennis Stratton.
Yes. Okay.
Oh
Sorry, I
yeah.
just derailed that. Yeah.
Um, where was I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
this record is killer. I love Are You Ready to Rock? Attack of the Mad Axe Man, definitely a highlight. My favorite, as far as MSG vocal songs, my favorite song with vocals is On and On. I just love that song. If we were going favorite song, period, it's Into the Arena. But On and On is, man, I just love that song. I just think it's amazing. I love the vibe on Let Sleeping Dogs Lie, that kind of, moody kind of thing. Never Trust a Stranger is great. Looking for Love. I mean, there's not these first two records that they put out are kill. It's a shame that Built to Destroy, is kind of like, I think there's some good songs on there, but it's kind of dated sounding and like kind of like they kind of wussified it a little bit to, I don't know, maybe to kind of latch on to the and have a
Who
little bit more
knows?
success. But I mean, man, you just cannot go wrong with this record or the debut. And the live one, that live at Budokan double record is phenomenal too.
Yeah, there was
But yeah,
another
when
one
I
that
good.
I'm sorry. There's another one that came out. I think right before or around the same time as it was Rock Will Never Die Live. Have you ever heard that?
That's a great
Yeah.
album.
They
Gary
start with
Barton
Captain
sings-
Nemo.
Yeah.
Captain Nemo's on it. Gary Barton sings a desert song
Great.
from Assault Attack. It sounds really good. I mean, of course, Graham Bonnet sang an Assault Attack, but that's a really good live album too.
Klaus Meine is
Yeah.
on there. They do Doctor Doctor at the end, and he jumps on, right? Am I remembering that
Yeah.
correctly? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they do any songs off of this album when Michael Schenker came recently? I don't think I remember.
That
Well,
was all UFO. Recently was all UFO.
Because it was most. But
all
did he,
UFO stuff.
was it only UFO? Okay, I guess
Only
it was.
UFO.
Yeah, that's true. I thought he had slipped in some other songs, but I guess you're right. Yeah. Never mind.
Time before that, yeah, I mean, he did Are You Ready to Rock? I mean, got to do
Yeah,
that. That was like
yeah.
the closing songs. Attack of the Mad Axe. I don't know. I've seen him like 6 times. So I've heard Attack of the Mad Axe, man. That was pretty cool. I saw him in Lancaster. And he had Pete
Wow.
Holmes from Black and Blue on drums.
Oh wow.
Surprised.
Nice.
Doogie White was on vocals, but yeah, I mean, it definitely hit. I think "But I Want More" played that too. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely an album that they hit live.
Yeah, for sure.
He plays every other year on the Monsters of Rock cruise, and
Yeah, he's a regular too. That's right.
he's
Yeah.
always fucking killer. Yeah.
Hey, John, what do you got for number one?
Well, for number one, I decided to go with Iron Maiden Killers because
Good pick. Good pick.
Anyways,
I picked that one too.
yeah, man. So Spellbound by Tygers of Tang, freaking awesome album. It kicks out amazing. The other band on our ranking table that also had a song title before a famous Iron Maiden had their own Gangland. Def Leppard was the other one for the other song. Not that matters. Yeah, this song kicks ass. Take It's awesome. John Sykes is freaking. His tone is insane. His guitar solo is like his tone stands out. Like his solos sound like a riff. Like how beefy they are.
Yep.
And what was he? Was he in anything before this? Is this his intro to like?
This is pretty
music?
much it. He was in some band. They were like a club band. They weren't signed.
Yeah.
I know we talked
I don't
about
think he
it.
played released anything before.
Like Traveler or something like that. I
Really?
don't know.
And then I know he had probably joined Thin Lizzy shortly after this, right? Because he was on the
Couple
next
years.
stuff.
About a year.
Cage was
So-
his. I think Cage. He wrote a couple of the songs. I think he's only credited
on it,
for.
though.
No, it
Crazy
wasn't
Nights.
on it. Just credited for some writing. I think that was the last appearance or however you want to say it.
Now, speaking of eerie sound effects, Minotaur. Actually, no one's going to bring up that part because it's so short. But that shit's awesome because it reminds you of like Angel of Death intro by Angel Witch a little bit. It's got that kind of creepy beginning part, and just the way it segues into Hellhound is awesome, and which is basically Spellbound. I mean that's like the title track in a way.
Yeah.
And I love Mirror because it's like it's so mellow, and you really hear how good Devereaux's vocals are on that. Like it's just how dynamic he is. And what else? Silver and Gold, whatever. I can't even do that. Excellent tone on that. I love that. I mean, every song on here is freaking good. Blackjack. Sounds like a sped up Uriah Heep, real turned on. Do 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 do. It's kind of similar to that. Tiger Bay. I love that song. I mean, I love every song on this album, and I've actually I had this album, or I bought it. Actually, I can actually show an album. I actually bought it. Probably, boy, it doesn't have the date on it, but I probably got this over 20 years ago, maybe 2002, and I had already had the first one, Wildcat. Yeah, I already had that one, and it was just like a different band completely. Like I couldn't believe. I mean, some people say this is a step up because really everything is just super improved, and I think over time I do appreciate the other album more. I mean, not more. I appreciate more than I did. And, what's his name? Jess Cox or whatever?
Jess Cox.
Yeah. Euthanasia. He's got that more raspy voice, which is kind of punk in a weird way. And I know he did he has his own band, right? He's done like his own solo stuff. Or
He's retired now, but he did the Jess Cox band. I guess he
probably
Yeah.
just these
Left
songs.
Tigers and formed the Jess Cox band.
Yeah, but he kind of really never really did much after that besides just his own thing. But yeah, anyway, yeah, this album rules. Yeah, they all look cool. Maybe the only, I mean, the album cover is actually pretty cool, but maybe it's not, a grabber that people would have wanted back in 1981. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's not that cool.
It's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's
no
not, Killers. It's not Mob
Right.
Rules, or,
Exactly. It's not. I mean,
but the
yeah, look at the
music is
shit it was up
good.
against.
Yeah, and the song quality is really good. All the riffs, it's almost like listening to like in a different realm of music, like the first Candlemass, just how awesome everything flows on it, and the riffs are there and the songwriting's there, but it's like
should have had this album cover, but this kind of wrote checks it could cash.
yeah, they could go both ways too, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe
Like,
more.
I mean, Tigers.
Maybe the Tiger more
understated.
just in front, or I don't
Just
know.
hate it. We don't have to prove anything. We don't have to have blood and guts on our cover.
They didn't. No,
Like,
that's
it's
true.
fine.
It's-
There's a tiger chilling.
Yeah, the
Because
Tigers.
Tigers should be like, Tigers are pretty badass, but they just don't. They don't really do it for record covers for me.
Yeah, like Dio
like
didn't
it's-
do it. He sang about it, but he didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Barnum and Bailey. I think is what I get for it. Like I don't. And,
Well,
and in an era where we walked through the stores, as we've talked about all the time, and bought records based on the cover.
yeah, that would have
It
been
just wasn't going to win next to the
Would've
other
passed
records coming out at the same
Yeah.
time.
What about
Crazy Night's definitely a better cover, Darren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Should've used that
That's my
Yeah.
case in
Is that where
point.
he's on a building and he's like clawing or
Yep.
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I still kind of like this one more than that, believe it or not. But maybe I don't know. What's the other band from New Jersey that has I can't. I'm blanking out right now. With Frank Iommi in it.
Frank Iommi.
Rock City. He's on.
Oh, Riot.
Riot.
Rock.
They look at their
Yeah.
covers.
Oh,
Now, do
yeah.
you think those are more exciting than this?
Well, those
They-
didn't
they-
sell either.
Oh, their covers
Didn't
suck
sell
too.
either. Oh my god.
Didn't sell, yeah.
Oh my god.
Bristol's
Well, go
Bristol's
ahead.
pretty cool. It's kind of a cool cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
That's
yeah.
another band that's kind of that can slip through the cracks if you're not paying
Yeah.
attention.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's my pick. I went with my actual pick. I wanted. I've been picking these like picks before that. Wait, what was the first pick I did? It was like, God, what was the first one? I did Manowar, and it wasn't even an album I was that comfortable with. So it's like wherever that got thrown, it is what it is. The last one, Nasty Savage, I was fairly comfortable with, but it's like this time I went a little farther up. And I was like, I'm going to pick an album that I think kicks ass a little bit more this time. So that's why I had to pick this one.
Sure.
So,
Sure.
yep.
Our ears, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Eric.
You were being the like, what do you call it, the like instigator on those other ones.
Yeah,
You
probably. Yeah, I might have to go back to that next time. But
I'm
we'll
gonna
see.
mess with these guys on this one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Well, yeah, that's my pick, and I'm gonna stand by it.
All right.
Yeah.
Eric, you're up.
Well, I mean, so I really tried to break the mold and pick something that wasn't my pick, but Hanoi Rocks jumped back up to number one multiple times, and by today, it was number one. And my was taking my 9-year-old to a swim lesson before this, and he's like, we were listening to that record in the car, and he said he really liked how Michael Monroe's voice is about to break, but it doesn't. When you're talking about earlier about
Yeah.
to break, but it does. He does break. I mean, he's like, but it doesn't matter, Dad. It sounds so cool. And I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. And it gets worse. I mean, if you listen, I can't remember what album it was. They had a song called Fallen Star, I think it was, where he's just playing piano and sings. And he's Peter Bradying all over it. He's like, it was just cock-a-doodle doo, man. It's crazy, but he believes in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And and that's the thing. But that's the thing about Hanoi Rocks to me is that it's that punk nature. They didn't have to be punk.
Yeah,
They were
Right.
just punks,
Yeah.
They were
Yeah.
just fucking doing what they were doing. I feel the naivete all over their shit. And just like Darin said, like I had my girlfriend back in high school, and I'll probably bring her up again in other records because she was that person. She bought Kerrang and all those, and every big ad she bought, but every little black and white, ad, and she bought those too. So it was like, it didn't matter, like this. Like I got into Wrathchild, like Stack Attack from that, the Hanoi Rocks, Kicks, Midnight Dynamite was a little ad, all those King Cobra or whatever. Like she bought all of them, and so TNT comes to mind, just a lot of stuff like that. So, but she bought Two Steps from the Move, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What do you got there? What, you got all those records?
I got
Child.
Exactly.
I actually bought Stack Attack when I got Hell Awaits by Slayer. So it was like
nice. Oh yeah. I think she had that one too. I mean, those are it's so cool. And so Hanoi Rocks just I latched on them early. So like I was like the only guy here in like Dead Conspiracy, like in a death metal band, like wearing like hoop earrings with, looking along here. I fucking super like wear blousey type shit. I was like totally into the Hanoi Rocks thing. I was like, this is the coolest thing. And then Guns N' Roses came out, and I'm like, so now it's not quite as cool anymore. But I mean, there's a reason Axl Rose re-released all of their albums. I mean, on his label. I mean, I feel like when we're talking about bands we're influenced by him, it's safe for me to say that after Razzle died, all of LA moved in and fought for the scraps on the table. Like, I'm going to get a hollow body guitar. No, I'm going to look like a pirate. No, I'm going to, it's like whenever they get steel, same, and to a lesser effect, Mother Love Bone when Andrew Wood died. I mean, the Seattle thing was happening, but Andrew Wood was like a more cutting edge guy. He wasn't doing what everybody else is doing. Just kind of like these like Free Spirit might be wrong, but there's so much shit death with Hanoi Rocks, and I won't go on and on, but I mean, but maybe I will. I mean, I was hanging with my friend Kelly the other day. He's like, you realize that Sammy Offa was 17 when he joined Hanoi Rocks? Yeah. And like, he just got touring with them in England. So he got to fanboy and like asked them all his questions, but 17, I mean, his first band, he was 14, and then Hanoi Rocks at 17. And those bass lines are fucking crazy. Like the amount of knowledge he had to have, like, did you do that naturally? You blend between like ska and surf and blues walking lines and like punk rock, like seamlessly. And he still does that. And so what I noticed in Hanoi Rocks a lot that doesn't get brought up is like their surf influence. And a lot of those, I played in a surf cover band for a few years on like doing standards. And it's amazing to hear how some of these bands like adopted this, the Scandinavian bands who actually did surf music, which is kind of weird. But in the land of the, ice, snow. Yeah. But they have lots of sleaze rock and glam bands there now too, wearing Bermuda shorts and A shirts, So, but anyway, I mean, their surf kind of influenced a lot of little surf type things that they did, and then mixing that with kind of like what would become punk, and I don't know. It's just, I mean, to me, the thinness of the record. There's been times I've listened to it and went, it's kind of thin. I'm going to put this one away for a bit. Then I pull it out again, and it feels fresh, and it feels unique. So I'm like, okay. So the same as Darin said, I'm putting them on the bottom because they're an outlier. They stayed on the top to me because they're an outlier, and like all other bands, there was so many moments where they crossed over. Like, God, they sound like they were influenced by that. Now I got to go look, what year did they start, and which album would have influenced that one? And like with Hanoi Rocks, I'm like, there's a little Stones, there's a little New York Dolls, there's a little of a million different things, and it's so weird because like, so I remember I was talking with Michael Monroe on Monsters of Rock last year, and some guy walked by and goes, "You're my favorite hair metal band." And the look on his eyes was like he died by a million fucking tiny daggers. Like he just kind of looked over and went, "Hair metal band? Like maybe we're like a hat rock band?" And I was like, "Hat rock? Yeah, you're more hat rock." They wear some cool hats and stuff. I was like, how do you take that many years of writing music and lump it into you're my favorite hair metal band? You're like, fucking crazy. I was like, it's all punk rock. And he goes, exactly. I'm like, even if it's not punk, it's like, it's the fucking attitude to it that like, we're just doing it. And I mean, it's crazy. Sammy Off is still one of my favorite bass players. Every time I see him play, he drips cool and he plays killer fucking bass lines holding down the bottom end so relaxed, so like it's so effortless. I just want to be him when I grow up, Yeah. So yeah, and that album though, like all the songs, you guys named them off, but like they're just they're just I don't even have to pick one out over the other to me because they're just so good. But and again, just kind of the outliers. So next time I'll probably try to pick something that is more in the fray, and I didn't grab that one to be an outlier.
It was cool to hear something different for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I saw on the list of 81. I was like, I'm just gonna throw it out and see what you guys say, and it's cool because we've all come up the same way.
Was Misfits Walk Among Us the same year?
What?
Was Misfits Walk Among Us the same year? Because I thought about that for a second too. Like, well, since you threw that in there, I could have been thrown that in there, you know. But that would be a totally off the wall.
That would have been fun.
No,
yeah.
Walk Among Us. I think that was like, wasn't that late 70s?
I think 79.
No, I don't think so.
It was 80. It might have been 81. Maybe
because
it was
Legacy of
81.
Brutality might have
Earth
been.
AD.
I don't know.
Earth AD came out in 83, and that was
83. That was like the end of them, pretty much.
Walk Among Us was March of 82.
Is 82, but it was close.
Okay.
Yeah. But,
I thought it was earlier too.
Well, never mind. Yeah, but it dawned on my head. I just forgot what year it was. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That would have been a good pick.
It's probably fun that we do that. It's cool to throw stuff out there just because it's gonna just spark the creative or the conversational process too. So
I'm glad we do that. I'm glad we don't pick like you were saying earlier. I'm glad we don't pick the obvious. It makes for a fun conversation and fun.
It would be a short conversation to be like, "Fuck yeah, I really love Blizzard of Oz." You're like, "Oh, really? Why? What is there to point that record? Other than every second of it,
right? Right.
Right. And Don't Break the Oath. That one, Doug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Eventually, we will have to do two things, like all the bigger albums that we really want to pick, and then sometime just the single rarest albums like Ark or those weird bands, like,
Down for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
John's dying to get Ark worked in there somewhere.
Somehow.
He's got to get Aragorn or whatever, or one of those bands.
All right, we got more number ones, don't we?
Radium. No, I don't know.
All right, Darin. I think we know yours, but go for it.
Yeah. Well, before I get to that, I want to a couple thoughts about Hanoi Rocks since we're talking about them now. One of the things that struck me is kind of odd when talked about that issue of Kerrang where Michael Monroe's on the front, he's holding his sax, and I'm like, well, they look like they could be heavy, but there's a saxophone, and I'm not sure if that's a boy or a girl. I'm not sure if that's a man or a woman.
I thought that too back in the day, I think.
In his vocals,
I like that part. I like the androgynous bands.
Yeah.
I think that's cool too, but more so is how big his voice was compared to even regardless of whether you're trying to figure out if he's a man or a woman, because he has the makeup, always wore makeup and the hairstyle and everything, which is cool. The androgynous thing kind of fits in with the motif, but he looks sort of like very thin, kind of frail, but a huge voice.
Yeah,
I would never put that voice with that person. And that was a really interesting dynamic that went along with Hanoi Rocks. Right. It's like, wow, these guys, they kick ass. I mean, they look like, like they'd be kind of wimpy, but they weren't, not at all. The other thing is when you mentioned about like they had so many different things, but different styles and different, expressions within their music. Like, there was some punk, some rock and roll, some of that Detroit sound, but they did have like that surf thing. I would listen to Malibu Beach Nightmare over and over and over again. Man, it's such a fun song. My friend and I, we were like 16. We'd still listen to we'd like put our out on the town songs on a cassette, and that was always one that made it. It's a lot of fun to go driving around and drinking and stuff.
100%.
Yeah, and in fact, I'm kind of excited about it now. I'm probably going to go on like a Hanoi Rocks bender. I've got a box set, and I've got most of the single albums. floating around too.
I always think it's interesting when you take like I didn't want to make a comparison in this to when I was talking about like to the Beatles, but like struggling to like figure out what would be a comparison to like what they're doing, and it's nothing like that. But for the most part, anyway, when I listen to the Beatles, I don't think like, oh, this is their influence from this was their this era, this was their this sound, this was their like they kind of just did what they did, and it when in it, and I could be wrong, but I just trying to find something that I was just trying to glom onto that kind of explained in my own head what they're doing. Like they just didn't give a shit; they were just doing it, and whatever they liked and whatever came out, but it didn't sound like, hey, we're taking heavy metal and mixing funk. We're gonna take, we're gonna be a metal band, but we're gonna do ska with it, and it's like, and then either like it or you don't. It's like it's a conglomeration that either works or it doesn't. But they just kind of did it. And you kind of have to suss out where it came from, But it sounds like Hanoi Rocks.
Right.
Yeah, no, I don't think it was overthought in any sense. I think it was just whatever they liked, and it went through the Hanoi Rocks filter, and that's how it came out. It's going to sound a certain way because you've got, the voice, you've got the guitar, you've got the way that they write songs, a lot of different influences. But no, I don't get the impression that there was like, okay, so let's try this, let's try doing this, let's try to do this style and see if we can pull it off. I think it was just whatever they like, whatever they listen to, and they just did it.
Yeah,
it's cool. The way it should be. My number one is Tygers of Tang, Spellbound. I love Tygers. One of my all-time favorite new wave British heavy metal bands. One of them, I wouldn't put them over Maiden, but I would definitely put them over like Def Leppard and Angel Witch and whoever else. This was like almost like a different band in comparison to Wildcat. Wildcat,
big time.
Well, I heard this first, which is kind of unfortunate because when you hear this and then you go from Spellbound to Wildcat, it's like, whoa, is this even the same band?
Yeah, big step back.
I like this album a lot. I appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah,
it's very raw. It's bare bones. It's one of the representative new wave of British heavy metal records. When you see new wave of British heavy metal and something, this record's usually there representing
that cover should have been swapped.
Huh?
That album artwork maybe should have been swapped. I mean, obviously maybe. That was impossible.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Better.
But I mean, this is just they just ratcheted it up so much on this vocals. Having John Sykes come in.
Yeah.
It's just like, wow. I mean, and the songwriting overall, Rob Weir, great songwriter. Everything just got. It was like a completely different band. They just got a real overhaul. I like every song on here. Gangland. Did anybody remember Creator's version of Gangland on the EP Out of the Dark Into the Light? Did you ever hear a Creator's version of that?
I don't remember that.
I don't think I
remember the album. I don't remember that being on there.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, and also take into consideration with Tygers. I mean, I love the new Tygers stuff too. After this, what was the Crazy Nights was pretty good. I wouldn't say it's as good as it was a bit of a step down from Spellbound. The Cage was not very good, and then they just kind of went down. And then all of a sudden, like in 2004, they got a new singer, Jocko, and man, he's great. It's basically him and Rob Weir. The rest of the lineup keeps changing. The different drummer, different lead guitarists, different bassists, but the nucleus of Rob Weir, who is the only original member, and the singer Jocko from 2004. I mean, he's a phenomenal singer, and their new stuff. If you haven't checked out anything from Animal Instinct,
the last little bit off the last one.
I love it. I think it's like it's great. I mean, it's
What's
really,
the most
really
recent album?
Most recent album. Shit. Hold on a minute.
There it is.
Like a year or two ago, I think.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
I love that. I love that these bands are putting out amazing records. Like
this late in the game,
it gives me hope.
Like Satan or something, or
those last Satan releases have been tremendous, really good.
Oh man, those Satan records have been
fucking
every
great.
one of them's killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
still drawn from
that's
the
a good
same
point.
pool.
On
Yeah.
It is cool to
Remember,
see that
you
they're
play
still
play
putting
with
out
people
stuff.
back in
great.
your 20s. You know, people were like, if I don't make it by the time I'm 30, I'm done. I'm like,
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
what the fuck is
necessarily.
wrong with you?
You still got a
Yeah.
chance to make it.
Right,
It's like
right.
the Steve Buscemi of metal there or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't find it, but Ambush is really good. That came out in 2012. Tigers of Pantang, self-titled, came out in 2016. That's super good.
Oh, and it just came out like a year or two, right?
I know it
Yeah,
was pretty recent. Maybe you had posted it, Darin, and I was listening to it on your wall
I
or
did.
something.
And they have a live album,
Is
Lock
Bloodlines
Motions.
the most recent, Darin?
Yeah, you're right. Bloodlines. Yeah, and then there's an EP, a new Heartbeat, which
Ritual
is
was
really good.
good.
Um, Bloodlines. Yeah, that's the latest one. Well, latest studio album. I think they're working on a new one now. But anyway,
Cool.
yeah, I mean, I love Tigers. I love the new stuff, and I think the new stuff's probably better than the old stuff. I know probably a lot of people that would disagree, but Spellbook made my number one. Originally, I was sure when I suggested MSG that was going to be the number one, but then John threw in Spellbound. I'm like, oh,
It's almost like a cheat record. I feel a little guilty of it. You know, it's almost.
Nah.
But
yeah,
I mean, there's
good
still it's
stuff.
still not the top tier yet. You know, it's still underneath.
It was
Really.
that's a perfect choice.
Yep.
I saw him
Cool.
live about 9 years ago,
Did you really?
and they were great live.
Wow.
We
In
played with them at a
Europe?
festival. Yeah, we played with them at a festival in Germany, and they were great.
Big.
I would love to see
Awesome.
them and Tokyo Blade together.
That would be a cool
Yeah.
tour.
That'd be a hell of a show. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have
All
to
right. Well, I
go.
guess I'll jump in. That's Tigers Pantang, my number one as well. And I think I've coming into doing the show, I kind of realized like I underappreciated this album. And this was the one of the five I came back to time and time again for re-listens. And I was like, man, this is really good. And I think of the five, this is definitely the most metal album. And it's John Sykes is just all over this. It's his signature that makes this album what it is. His solos are so just ingrained in the entire album, but it's like you know, there's so much heart put into every single solo he does. And him and Rob Weir together work seamlessly. And
They trade off some solos too, don't
yeah,
they?
yep,
Some parts, yeah.
yep. And and it works real well. Speaking of Gangland, and this goes back like to a long time ago too. Does anybody else kind of feel that sounds like at least the intro part sounds like Helpless from Diamond Head?
Oh,
I always get that vibe whenever I start that album up.
helpless.
A little bit.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
that.
just me. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot more to say that hasn't been said already.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of looking at some of the notes I took. Yeah, story so far. That's like a big sing along. You know, good. You know, the solos in that song are kind of sprinkled throughout. It doesn't always follow that pattern of verse, chorus, verse, bridge, solo. They're sprinkled all over. It works really good for that. Tiger Bay, I always thought had a little bit of a Motorhead vibe to it. Don't
Yeah.
Stop By. It's got really good kind of, Devereaux's lyrics and voice are very, full of anguish on that song.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and again, I think the production on this record is awesome, and
So
I'm gonna
good.
really butcher his name, but it's Chris Sangarides. Yeah, is that how you say it? And that there's a resume to be had there too. He's worked with everybody, but I think having him on board really helped push this album to the height that we're all talking of and speaking of. So
Yeah.
but yeah, go ahead.
A little trivia. He started recording. He was a producer for Diary of a Madman, and he got fired.
Really?
For what reason?
Yeah. What's the story?
Just didn't like it. Ozzy heard the I guess he heard the tracks, the rough mixes, and he didn't like it, and he fired him.
Huh.
Damn, wouldn't it be great to get your hands on those?
No kidding, right?
That would be
That
cool.
would've
Yeah.
sounded like, huh?
He should have done Born Again.
So yeah,
Martin
I mean,
Birch
of these
should have done
albums,
Yeah.
Born Again. Martin Birch should have done Born Again.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree. Or
and we still wait, and we're
Roger
still
Bate.
waiting. When will the
Roger
Born
Bate.
Again come about? I always promise that.
Hey, for Butch, I got a thing I wanted to bring up. You're talking about the new wave of British heavy metal bands on the outskirts. So
Yeah.
Clovenhoof.
Cloven Hoof, yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
I
it just
saw
popped
them.
in my head. Yeah,
I
you saw them?
them. Yeah, they came around. They played in a small place in Delaware called Bar 13, and it was like on a Friday night. Great show.
About 10 years ago.
Oh, they did tour.
Yeah, something like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
but
remember.
And they had
Good,
that
isn't
cat
I
from
saw him on that tour.
the Texas. Who's that singer down there?
Yeah, Aska was the band. Another,
Oh
another
yeah,
great
George
band.
Aska.
No, George
George Call.
what?
George Call's his name.
George Call. Yeah.
George Call.
Yeah, I like their style though. Yeah, it's like that's theatrical too, you know.
Very.
So there was a little offshoot of bands, you know, during that scene that had this theatrical thing going on, and but they were probably inspired by a little bit of Kiss and a little bit
Oh,
of
for
like
sure.
Prague and like, I mean, I don't know what other. Not
Cloven
like,
Hoof only kept the makeup for like the first 3 albums, I think, because they
well,
were
then they
like,
had like Highlander.
I think it
or
was like, I
something.
think they ditched it after
Yeah.
the first one.
Was
First
it?
or second.
because they were
Yeah. I
named
think
after
so,
like the
yeah.
elements and stuff like that. From
Yeah.
I'm laying down the law. Like that was a little bit like a departure from
Yeah.
that too.
Yeah.
yeah,
There was like maybe 20 people there. Made it
Wow.
all the
yeah,
It's like
yeah. When I
Makes
saw
it
them too,
even
there's
better in a
nobody.
way.
private concert.
Oh, yeah.
Cloven
That's a
Hoof
pretty
of all
great
bands.
band.
Cloven Hoof.
Yeah. As long as they don't use tigers on their album covers.
Are
Yeah.
you,
Well,
you,
they're the
are you a George
cool.
Call fan, Butch?
I like his voice a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
like
was
some of
pretty
those
good.
Aska records too.
Yeah, he kind of had. I mean, I got the studio albums too, and he didn't sound as good in the studio as he did live. I was like, wow. I mean, at the time, I thought, wow, man, he kind of sounds like Bruce Dickinson a little bit. And then I heard the studio albums, and I didn't get that same effect. But live, he sounded really, really good. Good stage presence and stuff. So,
I only ever got to
but
see him sing live with Banshee in sometime in like 2012, out at the festival out near the Columbus area. I can't think of that. Tatis is going to kill me if he sees this. Right? You know, I don't know. Warriors of Metal or something like that. I forget. We played out there with Twisted Tower Dyer and Manila Road played the night before us, and Banshee played. Anyway,
Wow.
and
Well,
Sinister Realm played.
yeah.
How about it's freaking hot as hell, and we're like well, usually we were like, no shorts on stage, none of that shit. Like, and we get there and we're like, you know what? Fuck this. And we all wore shorts, and we come off. We're getting ready to go on, and Sinister Realm is all standing there drenched in leather. I'm like, oh, we're pussies.
Were they metal shorts?
Metal shorts.
All
A
cargo
camo,
shorts, right?
camo shorts at least.
Camo
So
shorts. There you go.
Leather shorts.
Yeah, leather. Nasty.
All right, well, there you have it, everybody. 5 albums from 1981.
Man, those were fun.
and so much more.
Yeah.
Good
Those
stuff.
were really
Good stuff.
fun.
We'll have to go earlier. 1979. No.
68.
Yeah.
I was made for love.
Oh.
No.
1956.
I'm gonna do From the Fjord, so that's the
56.
There
problem.
you go.
That'd
There
be
you go.
fun. Like,
Legend.
what's the heaviest thing you could find from 56?
There you go.
56.
Richard.
Chuck
Berry,
Chuck Berry.
Berry.
Little Richard,
Yeah.
Little Richard, yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
Is
All
there any,
right.
what rockabilly? Dwayne Eddy, or who was around then? Link Ray, was he?
Link
on?
Ray. Yeah. Just gonna say the Link Ray.
I think it's a little later. I
Well,
think.
the early '60s, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Kinks with their ripping open of the speakers in 1964. You know, that would be that era. But
Yeah, that's what it is.
yeah. Well, I think maybe Chuck Berry did rip open some speakers, and they were always trying to like push the sound, or flick on a tube. I think Joe Walsh later on in the early days of him playing guitar, probably in the mid to late '60s, he would had a Fender amp and he would just flick his preamp tubes to get this out of phase distortion harmonic. Then that was everyone was using these weird techniques, Richie Blackmore and Hendrix with the reel-to-reel
Reel-to-reel.
recorders, preamps, yep. But yeah,
Wild stuff, man.
early Maestro fuzz pedal. I think that was one of the earliest pedals, right? I don't know, Maestro. I don't know. But
All right, guys. Well, we will
right.
see you
Yeah.
on the next time around. New year, new album. Hey, we'll save you a seat at the ranking table. See you next time.
See you later.
Roll.
Come